Let's get this layout designer open, see if we can add like a logo, get things where they need to be. It's not really the greatest design for the actual layout designer itself, but we can work with it, get it where it needs to be, tighten things up a little bit. So it's kind of like we'll say click and drag. Let's just move the text columns. They generally interlock, so that's kind of a good thing. And we'll move these over. You double click on it, kind of pull things up if you wanted to really format it. But let's say we have the account, and let's move the due date over so that we can start looking at what this invoice looks like. And just have the things just be a little bit cleaner in terms of where they need to be. So, and if you can kind of just kind of use this little looking at the black boxes, be able to pull them down, and moving the sample, just move that up. So again, now that the boxes are aligned in the same way, let's see if we can add a logo in here. Let's say add an image. And just put something in here. Put in here we go. I just went on the internet, do some sort of logo. So what it's going to do is it's going to copy things in. Let's put it in. So one of the things we can do is get rid of this title up here. And let's put in Smith Landscaping Company. We'll put this thing over here. I guess we've got to move that down. And we can move, it's a little bit, having a little bit of enjoyment here. And move this, I never like customizing these invoices. It always takes forever. But the point is you can get your logo in there, address. Probably should put a phone number in here too, so that, they know exactly where to contact us. And the basic customization, we'll pull up phone number. Definitely should probably have an email address, site address, fax, some of that information, especially, a lot of people don't use faxes. They're getting pretty outdated. But, definitely looking at it. If we wanted to apply a color scheme, we could just, we could make it blue, blue sky, something. I don't know if blue looks, well. Let's keep it back to black. That way, black tends to look pretty good. We can certainly change the font. And if we go back to our layout designer, we can certainly do something with a phone. Let's just kind of make it, down here. And you can kind of move it where you want. It's, whatever. Let's actually move the phone number up to the top. We don't need to actually have it say phone. And we'll move this thing right into here. And this is where we can go into the properties. We put it left. And if we put in a border, let's not actually have a border. And if we go into the background, okay. I think there's also a font size under the font button. That way we can kind of make it a little bigger. That way the text kind of stays, Time New Roman. I think that is probably 12 now that I look at it. So, and there we go. So basically we got a phone number, got our address information in here, and hit the OK button. Let's go to manage templates. I don't like the word copy. So one of the things that we can do, I think, is change the name, and we'll put in Invoice. Invoice. That way we know how to differentiate this template before. So what we've done here is added a logo, and let's take a print preview of this thing and see what it looks like. Pull this up. So one of the things we want to do is when we give to customers, invoice, we want to make sure the thing looks pretty good. So we know we're missing a service date, we're missing some terms, we're missing an account number. So since it's our first customer, let's go ahead and go back, get some of that information done. I think that the ship to, we can kind of get that a little bit more corrected. One of the things to kind of think about with your printer is if you ordered special envelopes, you can have the address customized so that you can use a window envelope and put it through, like, say, a folding machine, a paper folding machine, or hand fold it. But right now, we're gonna kind of let's get it a little bit prettier, and then show you how to get that layout customized. Let's make the address just a little bit bigger on the sample text. Go to properties, font. Make this thing 12, and do the same thing on the ship to side. Here we go. Put this in at 12, and that looks pretty good. It looks a little, this thing's not ever going to go down that far. So let's see, there is an undo button, Control Z, for any of those who want to fix a mistake. And let's bring this sample text up. And that's looking better. That's pretty aligned. Maybe this thing's going to go down one more. Close enough. So one of the things, now that we have our service date, let's get the information in terms. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to choose net 30, and we'll use the service date 5/06/2017. So a lot of times, it might be easier, especially just going down to Staples and doing like a sales receipt. But a lot of customers, they're not always going to pay at the time of service, so they might not even be there when you get the lawn mowed, because they're probably like working like a lot of people. So at this point, we've created a pretty cool invoice. Let's just go back into the print preview, make sure this thing looks as it should be, and yes. So this is a lot bigger. You can start seeing some of the information. Residential mowing, that's looking pretty nice. Invoice 1, we still don't have that customer number, so let's go into the pencil and pull up the customer number. So it's going to be our first customer, and they like to do net 30, and they like mail. One of the things that QuickBooks doesn't allow is fax or something different, so it's going to be mail or email. So a lot of times, we're going to eventually be a mailing customer. So that gets a little bit of information into the system. We're going to look at it. It's pretty good. And look at that invoice one more time. Let's probably get that item a little bit. Let's go back to that custom layout and go into Layout Designer. So it's kind of good to be able to see, where this, information is, especially on the item side. So we can kind of move some of these, boxes this way, and it creates a little bit more room for the item. So we'll look at OK, and let's go to Print Preview. Pull this thing up again and take a look at it. So one of the things we did is move the item so you can kind of see that it's residential mowing. A lot of times with the description, we're going to say, let's kind of make this a little bit more, cut around, shrubs. Had to, move, a couple of things. Let's say we had to move, kind of debris, in front of shed. So it gives you a little bit more detail of maybe some of the things that we did. We mowed the lawn and did a couple of things. But, the key on this thing is that, looks pretty good. We got our phone number. Let's go into, should get a dash in front of there just so you can see how these things come about, especially when you set up the phone number. You can see where to go, get these things fixed. Let's pull this up. And by putting in the dash, I know it's taken a long time, but I think a lot of times getting an invoice set up and getting it set up proper is kind of worth it. And kind of show you all the different things, where, how to do this, how to move things, how to set up a logo. This can be kind of worth, getting right. So looks pretty good. A lot of times that will fit where it needs to be. So it's a nice simple invoice, and we're ready to send this thing out. So we're going to close that up, and I think we're ready to go. So at this point, we're going to look at our reporting, where we were, and pull up balance again. And basically, we have about a $10 profit. So we spent about $30 to get our truck filled up and get a little bit of fuel into the mower. We still have some left, and we were able to charge a customer $40. Of course, we don't quite have that $40 in hand yet, but we hope to see that $40, very soon, especially come and check in the mail next day. So I think at this point, I'm going to end this video here so that you can kind of see the balance sheet, and under the income statement, this thing's starting to come together. So we have our cost of goods sold, income, $10. So, and we also have $5, but we haven't quite set up a bank account yet, and we really don't quite have the income stream yet to pull that off. So now you can start seeing the company start taking shape. So with that, have a good day, and I will see you later.